Hello, friends. Now coming to the third question, as usual in the series of our JIPMER exam. So the question is disease transmitted by mite. Okay, and the answer to this particular question, it's very easy. You know that answer is cryptyphus. Okay, which is done by what? Orentia susugamusi. Fine. So now this question was there in the AIMS also, and this question was there in JIPMER also. So you need an insight into this question, and let's discuss first the life cycle of it. This is the life cycle of this particular one, and how does it go? That these are the eggs of this Orange susugamusi, which is the costly organism of it. Then out of these eggs, what comes out is 6 leg larvae, and because of this only the infection happens to be in the humans, because it is an accidental one. Okay, after that these larvae, they feed up on the rodents, and from these rodents they change up into what? 8 legged nymph and adults. Okay, so they are like feeding on them, and later on these 6 leg larvae change up into what? 8 legged nymph and adult. Then what happens? There is a trans ovarian transmission through the ovaries from the parent to the offspring. The transmission is there, and this particular eggs they are produced up. So this is what is regarding the Orantia susugamusi life cycle, and this was asked in the AIMS exam this time. Okay. Other than that, you can remember certain like points regarding it. That what are the important points on which the questions can come regarding the Orantia susugamusi and cryptyphus. Okay. So guys, the first thing here is this Orantia susugamusi, this particular rickettsial family member. We used to call it rickettsial before, but now like they are being separately classified like Orantia susugamusi. This particular gram negative fellow lacks the LPS. Remember this important question can come, that which particular organism, like even though it is gram negative but it lacks the LPS. The answer is Orantia susugamusi. Fine. And this particular one affects which particular fellows? Military population, obviously in the hilly region where the shrubs are there. Okay. Then what is the vector? The vector is obviously trombiculate mite. Just now we have seen up another question. Okay, so this is the another question which can come regarding this. Now, the other thing regarding this, that the what is the name of the larval stage of this mite? So it is not this spelling which is there. The spelling of this one is, you can remember like this. It is this chiggers. Okay, and that's why the name of this scrub typhus also termed as what? Chigrosis. So if somebody asks you in the exam that chigrosis is done by what? So chigrosis is done by Orantia susugamusi. Remember that, and it is in the name of what? It is in the name of this particular one. That is the, because it is the larval stage. Okay, so that's why it is also termed as what? Chigrosis. Fine. After that, I have told you in that particular picture which type of transmission is observed of trans ovarian transmission. And gentlemen, this is also being asked. This is also being asked that the transmission is what? Trans ovarian. Then there is a eschar at the site of the bite. Okay, at the site of the bite, there is a particular eschar formation. Fine, and this was again being asked in the exam of All India. That is the NEET exam. Along with that, there is a regional lymphadenopathy and there is a rash. So there is a maculopapular rash, there is lymphadenopathy, and there is a eschar. Okay, and this type of eschar is also being produced where? It is in the like anthrax infection. If you remember, malignant pustule, that is cutaneous anthrax. So that was they want to confuse you up in the exam. Okay, so there is a scar formation and all that, and they will not be telling up the real history and all. They will add to that, because one of the options will be what? That cutaneous anthrax stuff. But you have to find it out by which particular history. That fellow will tell that there is a history of fever, there is a history of myalgia. Okay, and that particular one belongs to a hilly region where these types of shrubs like small vegetations are present. So all these you have to look out. Myalgia, these all are the important findings which are seen, and this is what the next thing also, fever, headache, myalgia, cough and GI symptoms. They are the important ones here. They are the important features of this scrub typhus. Okay. Now, in the PGI and all, they can ask you this thing also, that what are the various antigenic types of this particular what are the various antigenic types of this Orichia susudamasi. So what are the various antigenic types of this particular fellow? So these are the various antigenic types of it. Name is what? Boreon. Obviously it is not Bourbon. Okay. Gilliam, Carp, Kato and Kawasaki. Okay, very simple names as they sound. Boreon, Gilliam, Carp, Kato and Kawasaki. So this is not Kawasaki, Kawasaki or Bourbon, Boreon, Gilliam, Carp, Kato. So what you will do in the comment section of this particular thing, you will give me a mnemonic for this. That how to remember of the 5 antigenic types of these particular fellows. Okay. But as such, 2 I have made you remember. One is Kawasaki and one is Bourbon. That you will definitely remember. Another one, the Gilliam, Carp and Kato. Till let's have the discussion stuff down in the comment section. Your particular mnemonic for this particular one. Okay. So basic aim of mine is along with these questions, because they all are very important questions. They are being frequently being asked again and again it have come. So obviously it will be coming in the NEET exam also again. It will be coming in the AIMS exam again. Okay. So basically my particular point is that for those exams we should not do anything wrong in and around them. So that's why I am doing up separate questions, separate day. Fine. Now, these are the very important points. Every point can be asked in these particular ones. After that, another important stuff is this one, that there is a zoonotic tetrad. Okay, this question can come again, that there is what? There is a zoonotic tetrad. And what is a zoonotic tetrad? There is in the question, if that fellow talks about the mite, obviously mite is the answer of the question, so he will talk about it. Fine, transmitter it is. Then mice, those rodents in which that 6-legged larvae was lying off. I've just told you the scrub vegetations, that is the short vegetations. I've just told you. And the wet season. Okay. This is the classical triad and also termed as what? Zoonotic tetrad. Okay. And again, asked question, that what is the zoonotic tetrad of scrub typhus? The answer is mite, mice, scrub and wet season. Why wet season? Because the mite, they lay the eggs in this particular season. Now you just tell me one thing, that these eggs, they are being produced up. Okay, which particular legged larvae does it? Because now they are asking in this particular thing also that which infects the human, 6-legged larvae, and which particular fellow lays with eggs and all. The answer is 8-legged larvae. Okay, so that 8-legged larvae, that particular one later on leads to this particular eggs and all. Just now we have seen in that particular picture. Now, as per the data, this is the most common rickettsial disease in the India. Okay, and another favorite question of the examination is this, that it is detecting up by this particular wheel phallic test. And this wheel phallic test is which particular antigen protease positive? The answer is OXK positive. This is OXK positive. How to remember? There is this particular word, scrub. So scrub typhus. Okay, so what you do, you just make this C as K. So you will remember that wheel phallic test is positive of what? OXK. First thing. Okay. Very important, frequently asked, scrub typhus is which particular antigen positive specifically? The answer is OXK. Now you tell me that this particular wheel phallic test is which type of test? Which type of test means it's a heterophile agglutination test. What is a heterophile agglutination test? That is which shows up antigenic similarity, which shows up cross reactivity. Okay, antigenic similarity, cross reactivity between 2 unrelated particular fellows. What is the unrelatedness here? That the Proteus, which is an Enterobacteriaceae member, it is showing up the cross reactivity with whom? With the rickettsial family members. And that's why this property, that the antigens of this and antibodies of them, they are being cross reacted up to depict up the titers of this particular disease or any other disease, rickettsial disease and all, in which they found to be useful. So this is what is termed as what? Weil-Felix test. It is which type of test? Heterophile agglutination test. Which important another heterophile agglutination test you know that is there in the virology? The answer is, it is done for what? Epstein-Barr virus infection. Which one? Tell. The answer is infectious mononucleosis, and you do which test? Yes, Paul-Bunel test. Okay, so Paul-Bunel test is a test which you do for that, and remember here itself that the test which you do for the Mycoplasma pneumoniae stuff, that is the cold agglutination test. That is also being termed as a type of heterophile agglutination test. Okay, so in total 3 you remember up heterophile agglutination test. One is this Weil-Felix, one is that Paul-Bunel, and one is that cold agglutination test, and they might be asked again. Okay, now this might be the another question next in the AIIMS, that which is the specific and gold standard of diagnosis. The answer is indirect immunofluorescent testing. Indirect means what? That it is specific towards what? Antibodies. Okay, it will detect what? Rickettsial antibodies. This is indirect, and direct is done for what? Direct is always done for antigen. This funda was also being clear to you. And obviously always here the ELISA and PCR, now they have become backbone of any lab, and for most of the infections we have prepared of the probes and all, and we can do this particular PCR. Okay guys, so this much knowledge you should have regarding the scrub typhus now, and it is the most common rickettsial disease, so obviously the question will come up regarding this. The important as per me is this zoonotic tetrad, which you need to remember, which is what? Mite, mice, scrub vegetations, and wet season. Why wet season? Because the mite lay the eggs. Okay, so this also you need to remember. And what is the treatment of choice here? The treatment of choice for all the rickettsial family members is what? Doxycycline. Okay, doxycycline is the treatment of choice for most of the rickettsial disease, and here also it is treatment of choice. Vaccine is being tried off, but it is not found to be very useful, so you can just remember that vaccine is being tried off. A killed vaccine is there, but not of much use. Okay, so this particular doxy is like a super shot here. If you give this particular one, it improves other things very fast. So what you have to tell me regarding this? You have to tell me regarding the mnemonic for 5 antigenic types of it. Okay, and all those points, definitely it's a very important one. You need to remember all of them. Okay, now I'm solving up your biggest confusion in the rickettsial family regarding what is being done by what. So first of all, you remember up this, that there is a disease termed as what? Epidemic typhus. Okay, just write up in a sequence, because I know that you find it very difficult to remember these particular fellows, and I will try to make it easy for you. Epidemic typhus, endemic typhus, Rocky Mountain spotted fever, you know that name, Indian tick typhus, then you have rickettsial pox. Okay, then you have rickettsial pox, and then you have this particular one, that is the scrub typhus. So when you write up these 6 like this in a sequence, so you will able to remember them in a sequence always. Epidemic typhus is done by Rickettsia prowazekii. Okay, this particular one does this epidemic typhus. Endemic typhus is done by Rickettsia typhi. Rocky Mountain spotted fever is done by what? Rickettsia rickettsii. Okay, this is done by what? Rickettsia rickettsii. Indian tick typhus is done by what? Rickettsia cannori. And rickettsial pox is done by what? It is done by Rickettsia akari. Okay, and the scrub typhus is done by what? Just now we have done, you should tell this before telling of mine. The answer is Susugamusi. Okay, the scrub typhus is done by Orencia susugamusi. Obviously that is not that susu. Okay, the scrub typhus is done by what? Orencia susugamusi. It's a Japanese word. Fine, from where this particular name have come. So it's very common there in the North Japan and all, and that's why this is basically a Japanese disease, gentlemen. Okay, this also you need to remember. Now, how to remember this particular stuff? This is because a big challenge that which is done by what? So in this particular one, I will help you. How? Remember like this: epidemic typhus is Rickettsia prowazekii. This is the causative organism which does this particular disease, epidemic typhus. How to remember? Remember like this: P for P. Okay, P for P. That is prowazekii does what? Epidemic typhus. So you will able to relate of something. Then you have this endemic typhus, Rickettsia typhi. How to remember this? You just put like this, ENT. Okay, and you will able to remember up ENT, you know, endemic typhi. Got my point? Then you have this Rocky Mountain Spotted Fever, R for R. Okay, Rocky Mountain Spotted Fever, Rickettsia rickettsii, R for R. Then you have this particular one, Indian tick typhus. If you see the word map, India is in one corner. Okay, so Kanori. So Kanori is Indian tick typhus. One thing. Then you have this particular one, rickettsial pox, and this is Rickettsia akari. So this is like I have made a abrupt mnemonic for it, and that will help you to remember this thing. And that abrupt mnemonic is what? No relation, but it will make you to remember this. Okay. Rickettsial pox. You already know that you heard of smallpox, you heard of chicken pox. What they are? They all are virus. And if you have gone through my app and you have seen my lectures of virology, in that obviously every virus is having what? A particular shape. Okay. They are having size, they are having shape, they are having symmetry, that particular thing. The shape they are having, every particular virus. Mind you, I am again telling up no relation. I am just for the remembrance purpose, I am making that relation. Okay, because this is a bacteria, that is a virus. So rickettsial pox is done by what? Rickettsia akari. So how to remember this? So every virus is having a shape, and shape what you call in Hindi? Akar. And Sanskrit also you call it what? Akar. So I will remember this. Rickettsial pox is done by what? Rickettsia akari. Now you will not forget it life. Scrub typhus everybody knows, that is Susu gamusi. Okay. So this particular thing, if you go up in this sequence, is very easy to learn in this fashion. Again, I'm telling you P for P, ENT, R for R, Indian Connery, Rickettsial pox akari, scrub typhus, Susu gamusi. Okay, and if you remember this, then those arthropods, which helps in the transmission and all, that can also be remembered up in a sequence. How? Like this: louse for this particular one, then flea, then tick, then mite, and then mite. Like this, if you remember up in a sequence, you can remember the full thing. What is that full thing? That is louse, flea, tick, mite. Okay, so keep on doing like this until night. Louse, flea, tick, mite. But there is a danger sign for it. If you puzzle up with this sequence, this whole question can go wrong. Okay, so you have to write up in this sequence, you have to remember like this, and then it's a cakewalk to remember the arthropod transmission. From about onwards is what? Louse, flea, tick, mite. Got my point? Okay, so this particular thing is there. And what is the drug of choice for all of them? So drug of choice for all of them is what? That is the doxycycline. So this also you need to remember. Okay, so I find this opportunity to tell you something about the Ehrlichia also. Okay, I will tell you something about the Ehrlichia also, because you guys remain confused regarding that particular fellow also, that is Ehrlichiosis. Okay, it also comes in this rickettsial family only, but they are like separately, they are in a family termed as Anaplasmaticea. No need to remember all that, just remember Ehrlichiosis. Okay, and 2-3 points I will tell you, you have to remember that. Fine. So Ehrlichiosis, this particular one, why I'm telling you? Because the questions are being asked twice and thrice regarding them, so you can't ignore them. That they are difficult and they are we could not able to pronounce them, we will not remember them. It is not so. So first thing you remember, like guys, that there is one species of Ehrlichia that is termed as Cheffinensis. Okay, Cheffinensis. It looks like chef. Okay, so Cheffinensis, This particular one leads to what? It leads to human monocytes are increased in this. So that's why it is termed as what? Human monocytes ehrlichiosis. Okay, human monocyte or monocytic ehrlichiosis. First thing. Fine. Then the second thing is that is Ehrlichia phagocytophyllum. Ehrlichia phagocytophyllum. Okay, this is one of the species of it, Ehrlichia, and you focus upon its G. And why I'm telling this, because you will able to remember up that this particular variety, granulocytic ehrlichiosis, granulocytic ehrlichiosis, that is being done by this phagocytophyllum. Okay, and here you remember one more, which is termed as Ehrlichia senetesu. Okay, remember this particular one. Sometimes they say this Rickettsia senetesu and Ehrlichia senetesu. Okay, simple names are there in the microbiology. So just don't afraid of them. Just revise them twice or thrice. With these tricks and all, you will able to remember for sure. Okay. Now, Ehrlichia senetesu, this leads to what? This leads to human lymphocytic ehrlichiosis. It leads to human lymphocytic ehrlichiosis. So one thing is, guys, Chaffinensis, that is monocytic one. Phago, you have to focus on this G, that is granulocytic, granulocytes are there. Then Senetesu, that is lymphocytic. Okay, so they are also the defense sena of us. So remember like that, make some abrupt mnemonics, make some abrupt links, because that is what is the basis of remembrance. You have to make abrupt links. Obviously, sometimes in the personal you can be make the weird facts and all. Okay, you know that what I'm talking about. But yes, on this front you can't be weird here. Okay, the Ehrlichia chaffinensis, human monocytic ehrlichiosis, phagocytophyllum, human granulocytic ehrlichiosis, senetesu is human lymphocytic ehrlichiosis. So these three names, first of all, you should remember up, and the disease they are causing up. First thing. Then the second thing is they all are transmitted by what? So answer to this question is that the transmission of all of them, in fact most of them, is tick. So this one is tick, this one is tick. This is not related with tick and all. Senetesu is not related with tick and all. It happens because ingestion of fish. Okay, if somebody eats up an infected fish, because of this particular one, this infection of Senetesu happens up. Okay, so remember this particular one also, and transmitted by what? Tick. And what was the mnemonic there, guys? Louse, flea, tick, mite. Got my point? Then I'd like to tell you one more thing here, that these all particular ehrlichiosis, they present with a certain feature. And what is that certain feature? If in the question that fellow is worried about thrombocytopenia, this particular platelet count is worried about, then immediately, and obviously all these features he will be telling a tick bite and all that stuff, then you immediately have to think about ehrlichiosis. Remember this one important thing. Another one is that you will find leukopenia also here. Leukopenia. Okay, leukopenia also is a finding in these particular ones. Fine. Thrombocytopenia, leukopenia, that is also being observed in this particular ehrlichiosis and all. Okay, now just our remembrance purpose, a special point about Senetesu. This is a disease which is termed as lymphocytic one. Okay, but these lymphocytes are which type of lymphocytes? They are atypical lymphocytes. And can you tell me, guys, atypical lymphocytes are seen in which particular disease? So answer is, it is seen in infectious mononucleosis. Atypical lymphocytes, they are large in size. That is what is termed as atypical lymphocyte. And the same thing is also found in the CMV infected cells. So atypical lymphocytes is a feature of many others, along with the Epstein-Barr and all. Epstein-Barr, cytomegalovirus and all that. So that is what is termed as atypical lymphocytes. Here also it is being seen. Remember this thing also in this ehrlichiosis. So basically this Senate issue which causes this particular ehrlichiosis is a mononucleosis like syndrome. And mononucleosis like syndrome is done by what, guys? The answer is CMV mainly. Okay, and Epstein-Barr virus does what? That does infectious mononucleosis, which is also termed as what? Kissing disease. Okay, now only last thing in there in this particular ehrlichiosis, which I think can come in the exam, is that these particular fellows, they produce inclusions. Okay, you know, na, inclusion bodies and all. So they behave like the virus and they produce inclusions. They resides inside the phagosomes. They resides inside the phagosomes. Okay, they reside inside the phagosome and they multiply there. Okay, and they produce certain bodies like elementary body. Okay, there is a initial body and there is a mulberry like inclusions. Okay, mulberry like inclusions. And from your embryology knowledge you can remember up that this mulberry like inclusions is also termed as morula. Okay, so remember guys, this was the question of PGI once and it was asked in All India also, that morula like appearance or mulberry like inclusions is seen in which particular disease? The answer is what? The answer is ehrlichiosis. Fine guys. So remember all these things, that these particular fellows are rickettsial members. They can't be cultured, okay, because they are obligate intracellular fellows and all. Okay, so they are not easily cultured and all. And all of them, except obviously in the medical science some exceptions are there. The exception is there in this also, which can be cultured. But in the majority we have talked about today regarding the various rickettsial ones, how to remember them. And then the most talked disease in the exams, that is the scrub typhus. I have told the life cycle, I have told you what is zoonotic tetrad and all, mite, mice and all that, wet season. Fine. So all these things you need to remember. What is drug of choice, rickettsial family, toxi. Okay, if this ehrlichiosis morula-like appearance is seen, that is also very important. These inclusion bodies and all, they grow up in that fashion, elementary body, initial body and all that stuff. Okay, and I suppose I have made many doubts of yours clear regarding the rickettsial ones. Remember, they can't be cultured mostly, and they are obligate intracellular organisms. They behave like parasites. Obligate intracellular, sometimes they say obligate intracellular parasites also. Okay, within the like these cells they grow up, and that's why they are producing all these inclusions and all. Got my point? But this is mainly, you have to remember this morula stuff. Drug of choice is also being asked again and again. The answer is doxy. Okay. Besides that, scrub, if you can tell in a quiz like stuff, that which one is OXK positive. OXK positive is scrub typhus. I've told you that replace that K. Okay. Rickettsial pox is done by what? Rickettsial pox is done by Rickettsia acari. Okay. Acar. Pox. Acar. And what is R for R? That is Rocky Mountain spotted fever, Rickettsia rickettsii. So all these guys, if you just go on revising up once or twice in a proper fashion, then you will able to answer up most of the questions regarding the rickettsia, which is you find very tough as such. Okay. So what you have to do? You have to tell me a mnemonic in the comment section regarding that 5 antigenic types. Okay. 2 I have told you. One is Bourbon and one is what? Kawasaki. That is exactly not that, but you remember by them only. Other ones you need to tell me, or in total if you want to make a mnemonic of it, you can tell. Other ones, other than that, you can make any sort of mnemonic which if you have yours also, you can share up that how you are remembered of the ways rickettsial stuff and all. But I find it very simple to remember by this particular thing. You also share up and all. And these Ehrlichia chaffinensis and all, they sound a bit tough, so you can tell some mnemonics for them also. That will also be welcome. And I'll keep on telling up like this the topics of these JIPMER exam, because actually this is not a JIPMER exam. I'm telling up like this because I like definitely you will find them there in the NEET and this AIMS exam next one. Again, PGI is like favorite is this chapter rickettsia. Okay, so thank you so much guys, and subscribe to my channel. Okay. See you. Bye bye.